Okay, welcome to the June 24th Orchestrator weekly meeting. We'll start off here with, looks like somebody added some topics around RGW zones. Juanmi, was that you? Or
Yes.
okay,
I raised this. I think in the last containers hub meeting, something like that. Okay, but well, what I found trying to implement this in the Ansible orchestrator is that well, in order to set up one zone, I needed first to have a realm, a zone group, and this kind of configuration, all the structure of the RGW. So for me it was a little bit strange to see that in Rook we are only using the name of the zone in order to set up a new RGW node. So that was my first impression. So I raised my doubts and why we did that with Rook. Well, it seems that is the more simple configuration that we can use. But I don't think, well, I don't know if it is correct completely, because we are well, avoiding that the final user can choose the configuration of the realm of the zone groups to set what is the main zone group, what is the secondary zone group, this kind of things of configuration. But this is basically these are my doubts.
yeah. Well, and with the Rook design, I mean, where we started is that we don't allow them to select any of that, the realm zone groups and zones, just because to get the simple case up and working with multiple object stores, we thought, we just put them in independent zones, zone groups, and realms. And it just hasn't been touched since it was created a year or two ago. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we need to change that design to allow selecting the different realms and things. Yeah, so I don't have a good answer for how it should look, but I'm sure we need to change that in Rook too.
Okay. Well, I think that well, the first thing to do probably is to separate. I think one thing is node management. I mean, nodes or containers that are going to run the RGW service. Another different thing is the configuration that we are going to use in these servers. So I think that probably, well, we can use a default configuration and to set up a default configuration using one kind of orchestrator command, and in the other side to use specific instructions in the orchestrator in order to add or remove nodes that are using this default configuration, but to have commands in order to set up the configuration, to set up this is the realm, this is the zone groups, this is the main, this is the secondary, and we want to have these zones. I think that is one approach, okay? But in any case, well, we can discuss more deeply.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to have someone from Matt Benjamin's team review it or provide input on it. Have you talked to him already, or maybe we could follow up there?
It could be nice to have somebody with a deeper experience in RGW and what are the frequent use cases in order to help us to design a right interface.
Right. Okay, so you'll follow up with him then? And see who the right people to get involved are?
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Unless others in this
ask
group.
Casey. Yeah, we need to ask Casey, I think.
Casey.
Yeah.
Sebastian, can you write the name? I can try to reach out Casey and ask about this, if you are not, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. It's in the chat.
Wami, I know we can reach out to him. We've talked to him quite a few times.
Okay, yes. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. So Juanme, it looks like you had a note around Orchestrator's Ceph namespace package. Let's see, what is that? The Python namespace package. This is the one around factoring out the Python into a common package. I think that Sebastian Wagner mentioned last week. Is anybody on the call who wants to discuss that or has more details? Okay. Not sure about that.
I only say that it afraids me a little bit, okay, but
Okay.
I think that is a good idea, okay, but really it it seems to be a big well, with a lot of implications, a lot of risk. So
a lot of code moving around, refactoring.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that, we'll need Sebastian's input when he's back in the next meeting. Next section we have in the agenda is for Rook. So Sebastian, you have the first couple of PRs there. You want to go for it?
Yeah, so I'm still working, like juggling between the improving upgrades PR, which I thought was really about to get merged, but I made a mistake during a rebase. So yeah, I changed to that, pushed a new revision. Now it was out of sync, and I had to rebase it again because there was a conflict with the release note. So I pushed it again, and I thought I think the CI just had an issue, so we'll see what's going to happen. I just sent an initial version, draft version of the external cluster support. At this point, what we can do is we can already connect to an external cluster, which is actually what we wanted. And I guess next phase is to start enabling RGWs, MDSs, NFS to be deployed when using the external cluster support. So the PR has a lot of commits because it fixes a lot of pieces from the code base and adding new things too. But yeah, at some point I might just squash some of them. But that's where we are. That's where we are. Now I think I'm going to try to go back to the improving upgrades so that we merge it today, because I have to do some rebasing on this one for the external cluster. And yeah, that's it's moving. So yeah, quite happy about this. That's all I have for today.
Cool. Yeah, it was exciting to see the external cluster PR open this morning. Just now, I didn't get a chance to look at it, of course, but
it's a draft only, but you can definitely have a look at it. Yeah.
Great. And then with the upgrades PR, so I guess we're just ready to take a final look at it. The integration, assuming the integration tests are okay now. That was the last thing, I think, right? And it looks like it's in the queue for Jenkins right now. Hopefully soon it'll be running. Okay, also, so this week the governance was finally updated. A big celebration. And Deb, you were able to just merge your first PR.
Yes, I was.
That's
That's good.
and,
yeah.
Yeah, and Blaine, it should work for you now too. We get a PR ready for that. So yeah.
Yeah, just maybe for Blaine, because I wasn't aware of that. We can't merge any PR if the CI is red. But yeah, so you have to have one approval and CI has to be green so you can see the merge button. Otherwise, you won't see it. I just had different experiences with that, so I was a little bit, yeah.
Does that apply if skip CI is set?
Yes.
So if skip CI is set, the CI will show green. But sometimes you have to
Unless it's
rebuild after.
okay. I was going to
Unless
say because there's definitely a state on Christopher's PR where the skip CI was set, but it said that there was a build failure and there was no build information available.
Okay. Well, so if there's no skip CI flag, then Jenkins will just do his thing, and pretty much it always fails right now until we resolve a known issue with the Kubernetes 1.13 and 14 builds. But so what I've been doing basically is look for a green build, at least on majority of the Kubernetes versions. And if it looks like a known issue for the other two, which it pretty much always is, then I go ahead and add skip CI to the PR, hit rebuild so that Jenkins triggers, and it takes like 5 minutes, if nothing's in the queue, to go ahead and finish that build, which basically does nothing. Then it turns green as far as the CI is concerned. And then we can merge.
Okay, and am I able to hit rebuild? Is that something in the GitHub like UI?
So that, yeah, I hope you guys can now hit rebuild, and if not, we should look at what's missing there. Yeah, why don't we look at that after this and confirm? All right. Any other questions about governance or merging? Nope. I think I put this in there last week, but there's the design for basing OSDs on top of PVCs. That design is progressing. Not a lot to report on that, I think, but there were several discussions, and Sebastian Wagner was also pointing out device sets, how they might be considered, but that's a separate design, really. And yeah, I don't know that we want to talk through the design here, but just so we're aware it's progressing. Let's see. Oh, one I didn't add here is the OSD redesign, the PR that you've got, Blaine. I just saw you responded, but I haven't read through it yet. But it'd definitely be good to talk through that.
Yeah.
Design.
After your comments, I think a lot of the concerns that you had are addressed by the new iteration, or at least they were intended to be, and deprecating OSDs that weren't created with Ceph volume was something that it should be removed from the new design. It may be that I missed some parts, but that isn't intended to be in there. I am no longer looking to drop support for that as a note, and I am taking seriously your concerns about dealing with merge conflicts and things like that, and having sort of feature mismatch, or features that are subtly different in the different branches if we were using a new code path. And I am trying to balance in my mind just kind of the how to actually simplify the existing code in actual practicality. Like I can't really look at the new code and see, oh, okay, here are some things that would make this simpler or more straightforward. So I think I would like to take the like command runner part that I wrote and split that off and make that change apply to the Ceph version checker, so that that's like something that just sort of stands on its own. And we can close. I think there is an issue raised by the person who is running Graylog with that. And then from there, I'd like to kind of continue on with the skeleton that I have and build out the rest of that sort of like stage pipeline to have a basic like working structure. And then from there, have something like tangible that we can compare and see like, and kind of discuss like what, like, is this actually simpler? Like, are there like good things to take from this into the new OSDs or in from the like basically example skeleton to like pull into the existing OSD code, or should things stay as is?
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. And there's going to be no simple answer for any of this. And we'll just talk through it.
Yeah, I think it can be done. I mean, I guess like all things, I think it'll be a little bit of both. But the framework that I have in place, or at least like the first stage that I have in place, and how that works and how I envision things working out, like I think that's actually a good design that will work well, and is something that with some work would fit into the existing OSD code base.
Right. And I know you put a lot of effort into the OSDs before, and then you've had to kind of put it on hold or throw it away. So anything we can do to avoid that again. That's, I guess, what I was to be more proactive about iterating on it. We don't end up there again. For your benefit. Okay. Follow up on that. Let's see. That's all I've got on the agenda for today. The other issues to bring up? Noah, anything today?
Yes, just a comment. Sorry,
What's up?
Noah. Please you.
Sorry, I was looking for my mute button. No, I don't have anything.
Okay. It's just to comment that it seems that we are going to stop developing new features in the Ansible orchestrator, and we are work in favor of Rook or the SSH orchestrator starting from now. So just to share this news with the team.
Cool.
Okay. Thanks. Sound like that's all for today then. Well, thanks everyone. Have a good day. Talk to you later.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.